Look, I think the most important thing is two-factor or multi-factor authentication, which pretty well all the software does have, and hopefully all the investment platforms that they're dealing with also have, because it's important from where, not only from what's in the fund itself, but what data is coming into the fund from the investment platforms, and most of them now have got multi-factor authentication. The biggest problem with cybersecurity is not necessarily somebody doing the wrong thing, a trustee doing the wrong thing deliberately because they know. It's a lack of training. And I highly recommend for trustees that if you're going to be doing stuff online, generally you need to have some training around cybersecurity. You need to understand what phishing is, because that's really the biggest cause of problems for people with computer systems, and that's really, I think, the key. And we do, in our organisation, we do a lot of training of staff to try and cover all this sort of stuff, because if you don't understand the basics of what you've got to look for in an email, or look for in an SMS, or look for in whatever communication type you're getting, then you are going to click on things you shouldn't click on, and they are eventually going to cause you problems. Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think they really can. They can ask the questions. Look, I suppose the trustee could develop their own security questionnaire, or steal one from someone on site and ask this of all of the people they deal with. Look, you would hope that the software suppliers that they're dealing with and the professionals that they're dealing with have got proper professional indemnity and cyber insurance, because it is really important. And I did talk about that at the breakfast yesterday. It is very, very important that the people have got combined insurances, and that they're covered for the events that they need to be covered. But all of that's useless without the training. So you really want to make sure that whoever you're dealing with is training their people. Now, most of the investment platforms, they're reasonably good. They've got multi-factor authentication. Don't use dates of birth and kids' names and things like that as your passwords. Use statements or use exotic characters, because you don't want something that's easy to guess or easy to brute force if somebody's trying to really get into your stuff. But the other side of it is you've got to look where the risk is. So what's the risk of somebody getting into your software or your data? Can they steal any money from you? And the answer is no, because the software doesn't have the ability to transact. If they do something through your investment platform, potentially, yes, they could steal money if you had cash in the platform, or they could sell securities or something like that if they get into it. So it is important that you do have proper authentication on those. I can honestly say I haven't looked. I would bet, if we're not seeing it already, we will soon see it in home insurance policies, that there'll be something around cyber. And I think there already is in some of the smarter ones. As a trustee individually, you don't need huge amounts of cover, because the professionals you're dealing with should have that cover. And maybe that's the question you need to be asking, is if you're a trustee and you're dealing with a platform, or you're dealing with a professional firm, just ask them the question about professional indemnity and cyber insurance.